YouTube, what is good? So in the sneaker world, you got this concept called your weekly rotation, which is basically like the 5 shoes you wear on a weekly basis for whatever reason. You might have 2 pairs for comfort, 2 pairs of shoes that go with everything, and then that 1 pair of like hype beasts, cool sneakers, I don't know, like your off-white 5s that you just bought, something like that. That's an example of a weekly rotation. Well, I wanted to make a 2020 camera bag video, and I thought this concept of a rotation would actually apply to this idea better, because the reality is, I don't put the same stuff in my camera bag every single day. It varies kind of throughout the week. So today I want to show you all the stuff I'm using on a typical week of photo and video work, whether it's for clients or for this YouTube channel. So real quick before we get going, I'm super excited to announce the new merch. The new Photography Lives Forever hats are available for pre-order on evanranft.com. It is a limited pre-order, meaning there's only a select amount available for pre-order. So if you want one, pause this video, head over to evanranft.com or the link in the description on this video. You can grab one. If you don't grab one on the pre-order, you're gonna have to wait a few weeks before they are back in stock. If you get a pre-order, it's gonna take probably 2.5 weeks for your order to be delivered. So with each pre-order, I'm gonna throw in 2 free stickers as kind of a show of gratitude and appreciation because of how patient you're being with the orders. We have the dad hat version right here. It's like the faded black. And then we have the camp hat version right here in an all black. We have the new camera logo with the dagger going through it, as well as Photography Lives Forever. I took my time with this merch. I wanted to make something that I was truly proud of, and this is my favorite piece of merch I've ever made on this channel. Love these hats, and I'm really excited to wear them in basically all the videos. So thank you guys in advance for that. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button on the video. So the bag itself is a LOWEPRO PROTACTIC BP350 AW2. I've said it before, that is quite the name, but this is my favorite camera bag I've ever used because you can get to the camera through the top as well as through the side. So if you're out doing street photos like I like to do, you can kind of have the bag up and then sling it over your shoulder, get your camera out, make your photo, put it back in, pretty easy, and you can keep your camera up if you're in a situation where you don't necessarily want it kind of hanging around your neck. Inside these 2 little pockets down here on the strap, I keep this little hot shoe tripod thing, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and then that's made by MANFROTTO, by the way. And then in this one, I keep a hot shoe mount for a GoPro. So these are my 2 like hot shoe accessories. They fit perfectly in these pouches, so I just always keep them in there just in case I ever need them. So inside the bag, we have, the first thing is the Leica QP. This is my go-to camera for basically any casual shooting. If I have the opportunity to use this with clients as well, I will. I pretty much always try to keep it with me because of how convenient it is and how great the photos are. For the most part, I always try to keep this in the bag if I can or if I need it. Now, as far as lenses go, I rotate the lenses that I use on a pretty weekly basis, and I don't like having more gear than can fit inside this bag. So I usually stick to 3 lenses, maybe 4. Rarely do I ever have 4. So 1 lens will be attached to the camera, and then 2 lenses are off on their own. So right now I have my 85 1.4 G lens in here by Nikon. Now I have a video on this channel where I talk about how this is a lens that I never use, and for the longest time I didn't use it, but now with video I'm using it a lot more because of how convenient it is to fit into this bag. So I can put it right here. It fits perfectly in this slot as opposed to my 70-200, which is a lot bigger. And at times I bring it, but it does take up a lot more real estate in the bag. So it's nice to have something a little bit smaller that can work in any lighting scenario. For video, the 1.4 is great. So this is kind of my semi-telephoto if I want a smaller package. So 85 1.4. This next lens is a new addition to the lineup. So right now on my 8-10, I'm filming with the 14-24 2.8, one of my favorite lenses ever. But I recently grabbed this 20mm 1.8 to use for vlogging because it's so much smaller and so much lighter, and once again it can fit into the bag and take up a lot less real estate. The thing is, when you are vlogging with this lens, it's a little bit tighter. I do miss the 14 a lot, but you do get more depth of field on this, which is very nice. So there are times where I choose the 14-24 over this, but this is kind of my backup wide angle, way lighter weight option that I like to have. So 20mm 1.8, I got this a few months ago. Low-key, didn't talk about it a lot, and this is the newest camera that I've been using. This is the Nikon 780. Taped up all the logos on it. Loving this thing so far, and the lens that it comes with is this kit lens. It's a 24-120. It is great. I don't know why I never had it before. I'm gonna make a separate video about it because it's fantastic. Hands down the best kit lens I've ever used. It's an option for anyone kind of getting started on a more pro full frame setup. I think if you get the 780 plus this, you could be in really good shape. I love this thing. Here's why this hot shoe mount is so good. Twist it on, and then you can take something like the ATOMOS Ninja 5. This is like an old lens case, but the ATOMOS fits really nice in here. So when I have it in the bag, I like to put it in here to avoid any scratches on the screen. But you can take that, you can twist it on here, and then you can move it around however you want to see yourself, to not see yourself. You just turn this, and then everything moves real nice. But low-key, a pro tip, if you want, in the wintertime when you're using one of these external recorders, you can just plug it into your camera and put the recorder in your hoodie pouch and then film like you have a normal camera. You don't even have to put it on top. It actually draws a lot less attention to you if you're out shooting in the city. Now granted, it only really works in the winter or if you're wearing a hoodie, but it is a nice little pro tip for you. So that is what I've been working with in my bag. Now here's the thing, a lot of this stuff, like I said, kind of gets subbed out. Sometimes I might bring the 14 to 24, and instead of bringing the 20, I'll bring something like my 35 1.4 by Sigma. This is probably my favorite lens ever to this day. It was the first prime lens that I got that was a 1.4. What lenses I bring with me will vary from week to week depending on what I need for that particular day. Up here, we do have a laptop pouch for my MacBook Pro. It works great for editing photo. It works fine for editing video too if I shoot in 1080, but the minute I go up to 4K, it can kind of have some issues processing those, and it takes forever to export the file. So when I'm with clients, when we're doing more run and gun style stuff, I use this to edit and I shoot in 1080, and then for photo, it's completely fine. With the photo, I work with these external LaCie drives, so I'll bring one of these with me in my bag. Very small footprint, easy to fit in there. You know, plug it in, back up your photos. And then when I'm back at my stationary setup, I have drives here that I can transfer everything from one of these onto to further back it up. And that actually works as kind of like a double backup for me. I do want to get a like tower hard drive station to back everything up from the minute I started photography, but right now it's kind of on separate drives, which isn't a big deal. They're labeled and organized and I know how it works, but I want to get one like core backup station going. That would be nice. So the MacBook is what I edit on when I'm out kind of at the office or with clients or something like that. And this is a new addition to the editing process. It is an iMac. So off the top of my head, I can't remember all the specs, so I have them in my phone. It's an iMac 21.5-inch Retina 4K display, 3.2 gigabyte Intel i7 6-core processor. Is that good? I really did a lot of research on this computer because I know nothing about it, and I just picked the one that everyone said would be good. I did a 32 gigabyte memory, 1 terabyte Fusion drive internal. Graphics card is an AMD Radeon Pro 560X. Like I said, I don't know a ton about that. This computer handles 4K files, it handles color grading, it handles ProRes files, it handles everything I can throw at it. Very good, and it exports super fast. A nice change from the MacBook that I was using for a long time. Decided to upgrade this when I knew I was gonna be upgrading some of my video equipment, and I wanted to start taking the video stuff a little bit to the next level. Knew that I would need a machine that could handle it. So this is more of my stationary setup, this is more of my mobile setup, and I feel like it's working really well. I'm enjoying it. So a few other things that will make their way into the bag on a given week. We have the rocket blower to just clean off a sensor if you need to. Always good to have one of these with you. I have one in my car, so usually I don't throw one in the bag. We have a JOBY tripod, which these things are cool. I don't use these a ton just because realistically, when you're filming, the angle you get with this, it's not much different than putting it on a ledge or on the ground or something like that. So I don't always bring this with me. A lot of times I just put the camera on the ground, prop it up to get the angle, or I find a ledge, have the camera shoot that way. But this does work for certain things. I don't trust this, like clamping it onto things like a lot of people do. I know that's what makes it convenient, but sketches me out. Not for me. So JOBY tripod is something I use every now and again. So one other thing that I'm gonna make a separate video about is this MAVIC Mini. Now I had some of the early Phantom models. I had a Phantom 1 and then I had a Phantom, I think 3, and I crashed both of them and it kind of put me off to the whole drone thing. I didn't necessarily feel like I needed it for work. I would use it every now and again for the YouTube channel, but I don't know, it just wasn't a critical piece of my workflow, so I never wanted to invest the money into a drone until this thing came out. One, the price is so good that it's not a huge investment. The software has gotten so much better, and you also don't have to register this thing. So it's so small, it can fit in my bag really easy. All I gotta do is maybe replace one lens. It unfolds, and it's still really small, and it actually gets pretty good video. This is something I'm gonna use a lot more in the spring for photo and video, and that's probably when I'll make a video about it. But personally, I think this is the drone that like 98% of content creators can use and get good results with before going into the MAVIC. I really don't think that's something that everyone needs. Now, granted, you do get amazing video quality with it, but if you're just a YouTuber, I think this gets the job done for way less. So we're eventually gonna talk about it. That's why I got this. I've already used it a few times, and I love the result and what it gets for such a convenient price and a convenient package. Last but not least, we have a Rode USB, I think it's a Rode USB NTG mic is what it's called. That is what I use for all the voiceovers on the channel, and then I have a Rode VideoMic Pro on my camera right now. Use that for a lot of these videos as well as vlogs. And I think that's it. My Fujifilm cameras, I still have an X-H1 over there with a couple lenses for that. Haven't been using it as much since I went to the Nikon for video, but it is still something that I might grab every now and again, but I didn't want to include it because it's not really in the rotation. It would be more in like a monthly rotation or something like that. But that's everything I'm using. That is my weekly rotation for 2020 for all the gear, for photo, video, everything you're seeing on this channel and with clients. It's what I use, and that I think is it. So if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Remember, evanranft.com is where you can grab yourself one of the new hats. I greatly appreciate the support. The pre-order closes Sunday at noon. So remember that between now and Sunday at noon, you can grab one of these on a pre-order unless the pre-order sells out. There should be a pretty good amount available. If you miss out on it, don't worry. They will be available on the site in a few weeks. But thank you to everyone who supports the channel. This is my favorite piece of merch, hands down. Let me know your gear rotation in the comments. What are you working with? What's your go-to stuff right now? I'm always interested to hear what y'all have to say, and if you happen to be using any of the same stuff as me, let me know down there as well. Thank y'all. See you next time.